The 2026 Porsche Cayenne arrives like a turning point, the kind that doesn't just update a model, but rewrites what an SUV can be. The moment the electric Cayenne Turbo comes to life, the numbers feel almost unreal. Up to 850 kilowatts, roughly 1,139 horsepower, more than 1,000 pound-feet of torque, and a 0 to 60 time hovering around 2.5 seconds. That isn't performance borrowed from a sports car. That is sports car performance delivered by a full-size luxury SUV built to carry families, gear, and everyday life. What makes it even more remarkable is how effortlessly Porsche claims it all comes together, charging from 10 to 80% in under 16 minutes, a 113 kilowatt-hour battery engineered for long-distance confidence, a chassis tuned to deliver comfort on a highway cruise, and sharp precision when the road gets interesting. This is the Cayenne stepping into electrification with the kind of confidence only a brand like Porsche would dare attempt. The real thrill comes from discovering whether this new generation simply adapts to the EV era or completely redefines the super SUV class. And the deeper the 2026 Cayenne is explored, the clearer it becomes. Something extraordinary is happening here. Something that pushes beyond expectation and lands squarely in the territory of a modern automotive milestone. For more than 2 decades, the Cayenne has been the vehicle that changed Porsche's destiny. It proved that a performance brand known for lightweight sports cars could build an SUV without diluting its identity, and it went on to become one of Porsche's most successful models worldwide. That history is exactly why the 2026 Cayenne matters so much. This generation isn't just another refresh or a mild tech update, it marks the first time the Cayenne steps fully into the electric era. Porsche isn't experimenting on a niche model or testing the waters with a limited release, it's electrifying the core of its lineup, the vehicle that carries the brand's sales momentum and defines how most people experience Porsche. In the broader market, the timing couldn't be more critical. American buyers want power, versatility, luxury, and increasingly the benefits of electrification without compromise. The competition is tightening across the EV SUV segment, yet few contenders offer true performance pedigree or the refinement expected from a top-tier luxury brand. That's where this new Cayenne enters with something different, an electric platform shaped by real motorsport engineering, backed by Porsche's focus on driving feel and wrapped in the practicality that made the model a household name. The result is a vehicle positioned not just to participate in the shift toward high-performance electric SUVs, but to lead it. The 2026 Cayenne isn't trying to meet the market's expectations, it's trying to set the next benchmark for them. Now let's get into the part that actually defines the character of this new Cayenne Electric, the trims, the numbers, and what they translate to when you're actually out on the road. The lineup launches with 2 variants, the Cayenne Electric and the Cayenne Turbo Electric. Both come standard with all-wheel drive and Porsche's sophisticated traction management system, so no matter which version is chosen, the platform underneath is engineered to deliver confidence and control from the very first mile. The base Cayenne Electric produces 300 kilowatts, about 408 horsepower, and with launch control, it rises to roughly 442 horsepower and over 830 newton-meters of torque. That pushes this SUV from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in around 4.8 seconds and tops out near 230 kilometers per hour. On paper, those are impressive numbers. In real life, it feels like a tightly wound spring, silent, instant, and surprisingly responsive for something that can still carry luggage, kids, and weekend plans without breaking a sweat. It's the version that blends performance with calm confidence, the one most buyers will step into and immediately feel at home with.
Then there's the Turbo Electric, the one that doesn't just move the benchmark, but smashes it. With overboost engaged, it unleashes up to 850 kilowatts, roughly 1,100 plus horsepower, and torque figures that would sound exaggerated if they didn't come straight from Porsche themselves. 0 to 60 happens in the mid-2-second range. That isn't quick for an SUV, that's supercar territory, delivered in something that can tow, commute, and handle school runs. The way it surges forward is almost surreal, instantaneous, relentless, and perfectly controlled, like Porsche engineered a physics glitch and then wrapped it in leather. Both versions draw power from a new 113 kilowatt-hour battery paired with Porsche's 800-volt architecture, allowing a 10 to 80% charge in under 16 minutes on a high-powered DC fast charger. That's the difference between planning your life around charging and simply adding it to your routine without thinking twice. So when choosing between trims, the question isn't which one is fast. They're both fast. The real question is whether the desire is for refined, quiet intensity or the kind of acceleration that shocks the senses and redefines what an electric SUV is even allowed to feel like. Let's dive into how the 2026 Porsche Cayenne delivers on the EV promise, not just on paper, but in the real world: battery, charging, and range. The heart of every electric vehicle is its battery, and for the Cayenne Electric, Porsche installs a 113 kilowatt-hour high-voltage pack. Behind that number lies serious range potential and long-haul confidence. When paired with Porsche's 800-volt electrical architecture and advanced thermal management, that battery becomes the platform for performance, endurance, and high-speed charging all at once. Because the technology supports DC fast charging up to 400 kilowatts, a quick session at a powerful charger can take the battery from 10 to 80% in under 16 minutes, a dramatic improvement over older EVs. That's the difference between planning your life around charging and simply adding it to your routine without thinking twice. For day-to-day driving, commuting, errands, and even weekend trips, the Cayenne Electric promises a useful, usable form of electric mobility. No need to compromise between performance and practicality. You get strong acceleration, but also enough battery capacity to handle serious mileage without constant range anxiety. In real-world use, that translates to flexibility. If you live near good charging infrastructure, you could charge at home overnight or top up during a lunch break. On a road trip, a short 15 to 20-minute stop at a fast charger feels like refueling a high-performance SUV, and the Cayenne feels equally at home on long highway stretches as in the urban jungle. This balance of performance and practicality is where the Cayenne's EV truth test is passed, not just as an experiment, but as a carefully engineered all-rounder. What truly separates the Cayenne Electric from so many high-horsepower EVs is what happens after the launch control drama fades. When the road turns, the pavement changes, or the drive becomes more about connection than raw acceleration. Straight-line speed grabs attention, but the real magic of this SUV is how naturally it moves, how confidently it settles into a corner, and how composed it feels even when the miles pile up. The foundation is Porsche's new premium platform electric, engineered from the ground up to feel like a Porsche first and an electric SUV second. With the battery mounted low in the chassis, the center of gravity drops in a way even the old V8s couldn't match. Then comes the hardware: air suspension with dual-chamber tech, adaptive damping, rear-axle steering, and torque vectoring that works so seamlessly that it feels like the SUV can read the driver's thoughts. The result is handling that shouldn't be possible in something this large. Steering that's sharp without being twitchy, body control that stays flat and predictable, and grip that feels endless even in quick transitions.
But daily driving comfort is just as important. In normal mode, the Cayenne relaxes, softens, and glides with the quiet confidence expected from a luxury SUV. Road noise barely reaches the cabin. Small bumps disappear under the suspension's constant micro-adjustments. Even navigating tight city streets or parking garages becomes easier with rear steer, trimming the turning radius. And this is where the Cayenne shows its dual personality. It thrills when requested, yet it doesn't punish the driver for using it like a family car. Commuting, grocery runs, school drop-offs, all of it feels effortless. Visibility is good, the driving position is spot on, and the EV powertrain makes low-speed maneuvering almost absurdly smooth. It's the rare performance SUV that doesn't demand a compromise. It gives the rush of a sports car when the road opens up, but the calm, predictable comfort of a premium cruiser when life slows down. Step inside the 2026 Cayenne Electric and it becomes immediately clear that Porsche didn't just update the cabin, it reimagined what a luxury performance SUV should feel like in the EV era. The moment the door closes, the world outside fades into a soft hush, replaced by an interior that blends high-end craftsmanship with the clean, modern aesthetic of next-gen tech. Every surface feels intentional. Leather with tight stitching, metal accents with real weight, and a layout that respects Porsche tradition while embracing a fully digital future. Front and center is a curved high-resolution display behind the steering wheel, crisp and deeply customizable. It's complemented by a new central touchscreen that feels faster, smoother, and more intuitive than anything in previous Cayennes. But the standout addition is the optional passenger display, a dedicated screen that lets the person in the right seat control media, input navigation, or even watch content, all without distracting the driver. Porsche managed to make the cabin more futuristic without turning it into a wall of overwhelming screens. Everything feels balanced, purposeful, and driver-focused. The tech extends far beyond what's visible. A new generation of voice control responds with natural clarity, the ambient lighting adjusts subtly to different driving modes, and the available head-up display projects crisp, layered information directly into the driver's line of sight. Even the HVAC system has been rethought, using smart airflow management to quietly maintain cabin comfort without constant fan noise. Yet for all its digital sophistication, the Cayenne still feels human. The seating position is perfect, supportive without being stiff. Cabin space is generous, with rear passengers enjoying real legroom and an airy sense of space helped by the full-length glass roof. Storage is smarter, the materials are richer, and every interaction feels polished. It's luxury expressed through precision rather than excess. The 2026 Cayenne Electric doesn't try to impress with flash. It impresses by making every touchpoint feel considered, every piece of technology feel like it's working with the driver instead of competing for attention. It's a next-gen cabin grounded in the kind of refinement that reminds anyone inside this is Porsche, evolving without losing its identity. The 2026 Cayenne Electric brings a lot to the table, and looking at it honestly, the strengths are undeniable. The performance is outrageous, not just in a straight line, but in the way it carries speed through corners with a calm, precise confidence that feels almost unfair for an SUV of this size. The cabin is a masterclass in modern luxury, with technology that feels purposeful instead of gimmicky, and build quality that reminds anyone who touches it that Porsche still sweats the small stuff. Charging performance is another major win. Being able to go from 10 to 80% in under 16 minutes fundamentally changes how livable this SUV feels as a daily EV. And despite all the performance, it remains quiet, comfortable, and incredibly usable for everyday life, from commute duty to road trips. But no car is perfect, and the Cayenne Electric has its realities. The weight, even with Porsche's engineering magic, is still the elephant in the room. It hides it well, but physics don't disappear, and sharp drivers will occasionally feel that heft in certain transitions. Range is good, but competitors with even larger batteries may stretch further on a single charge, and that matters for buyers who regularly drive long distances in areas without strong fast-charging infrastructure. Price will also be a real barrier. This is a premium SUV priced deep into luxury territory, and options can push it higher quickly. And for those who love the visceral growl of a Porsche combustion engine, the quiet surge of an electric motor, while thrilling in its own way, marks a very different emotional experience. Seen honestly, the 2026 Cayenne Electric is a groundbreaking step for Porsche, packed with strengths that elevate it above most electric SUVs. Its compromises don't break the deal, but they do define whether this SUV fits someone's driving lifestyle. It's a machine engineered to impress, but also one that asks buyers to embrace the future of performance in a different, quieter, and far more electrified form.
The 2026 Cayenne Electric is built for a very specific kind of driver, someone who wants more than just a luxury badge or a showpiece EV. This SUV speaks to buyers who expect uncompromised performance, who want the instant surge of electric power but refuse to give up the precision, balance, and engagement that define a true driver's machine. It's for those who look at an EV not as a statement, but as an evolution of what a high-end SUV should be: faster, smarter, cleaner, and more capable every day. It fits perfectly into the life of someone with an active schedule, blending school runs, commutes, and errands with the ability to take on long highway drives without anxiety. The fast charging capabilities make it realistic for travelers, while the spacious cabin and refined ride make it ideal for families who value comfort as much as performance. And for drivers who enjoy dynamic backroad moments or simply want an SUV that reacts instantly to every input, the Cayenne Electric delivers an experience that stands apart from the typical, soft, uninvolving EV. It also appeals to luxury buyers who appreciate quality in the details, the person who notices how a switch feels, how the steering responds, how quiet the cabin becomes at speed. This is not a first EV purchase for those dipping a toe into electrification. It's a choice for someone ready to move forward, someone who wants a high-performance EV that doesn't trade emotion for efficiency. The Cayenne Electric becomes a natural fit for enthusiasts stepping into an electric future, families needing capability without compromise, and professionals wanting a vehicle that elevates both the daily routine and the weekend escape. The 2026 Cayenne Electric marks a pivotal moment not just for Porsche, but for the entire performance SUV segment. It proves that electrification doesn't have to dilute identity, it can sharpen it. This SUV delivers the kind of acceleration that rewrites expectations, handling that feels impossibly composed for something this capable, and a cabin that blends next-generation technology with the craftsmanship people expect from a top-tier luxury brand. It's a performance machine, a family hauler, a long-distance cruiser, and a tech showcase all at once. And yet it never feels like it's trying too hard. It feels intentional. The recommendation comes down to priorities. For drivers who value engagement, refinement, and long-term livability as much as raw numbers, the Cayenne Electric stands out as one of the most well-rounded electric SUVs available. Choose it if performance and luxury matter more than ultimate range. Choose it if fast charging is part of daily access or road trip planning. Choose it if the goal is to step into the EV future without sacrificing the emotional connection that makes driving feel alive. For those who crave visceral engine sound or depend on charging infrastructure in remote areas, it may not be the perfect fit. But for everyone ready to embrace what comes next and wants that future delivered with precision, confidence, and unmistakable Porsche character, the Cayenne Electric is more than a recommendation. It's a benchmark and one of the most compelling electric SUVs on the road today. If this deep dive into the 2026 Cayenne Electric helped bring clarity to your next car search, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more sharp, in-depth automotive breakdowns. This is where performance, technology, and real-world insight come together. Thanks for watching Car Today Reviews, where the road always has more to say.